This is Habit Tribe, and about me, I'm Simeon. I'm a computer science graduate, and I have experience helping real coaches scale their coaching businesses. This is me and my boxing coach. Next is online coaches. So these are two online lifestyle accountability coaches. They have over 200 clients, and they're making over $200,000 a year, but they have problems. So they have an issue with administrative work where they have to manually track on spreadsheets and through WhatsApp messages to check in with all 200 of their clients, and they're spending over 2 hours a day doing this. So they're having issues with time, and they're also having issues scaling because they can't grow because they don't have enough time to um, grow and have a good quality relationship with their clients. Next, so I'm building a solution, which is Habit Tribe. And for the clients, the end users will have a mobile app, which they will be able to use to do habit verification and have photo-based check-ins so they can check up with their coach every day. And then for the coaches, they're going to have a web dashboard so they can have insights and have an overview of all of their clients in one place so they can get analytics and they can save time so they can focus on actually coaching rather than doing admin tasks. So for traction, I've talked to Marlon and called, and I have another meeting with them on Thursday, and they're excited for the app and they want to use it. And next, I've also reached out to, or I made a post online about it in other communities for self-improvement on the B2C side. And a lot of people also want it as well, and these are some of the comments. So out of those people, I made an MVP, and it's a web app that you can install on your phone. And I got about 15 people to try it out. So for competitors, so first is Heavy, which is for personal training coaches. So they don't have the flexibility to do custom habits that other lifestyle coaches have, like meditation or like making your bed or going outside or taking a walk or anything like that. It's all based on fitness, which is just sets and reps. And then for Coach Accountable, they don't have a iOS or Android app, and they don't have photo-based verification, so the clients just have to press a button to check off if they completed a habit. And then for Habit Kit, which is a habit tracker, they don't have photo accountability, they don't have group accountability, and it's not made for coaches, so they don't have a dashboard for their habits. So for the revenue models, for B2C, which is just individual people who want a habit tracker for self-improvement and to track with their friends, it's just going to be $3 a month. And for B2B, it's for coaches, it's going to be $2 per client seat per month. And as long as the coach pays, the clients don't have to pay anything for the app. So market size, first I'm starting in Indiana, then I'm expanding to the Midwest, and then finally expanding to the United States for all of the coaches that are certified by the National Board of Certified Health and Wellness Coaches. This is based off their directory. These numbers are based off the directory, and the average client load per month based on the ICF, International Coaching Federation, is 12 to 13 clients. So that's where I'm getting these numbers from. And also the milestones for first is the MVP. I built the progressive web app, but I'm still building the iOS and Android app. So once I complete the beta test for that, I'm going to have a free trial for CalROM and Indiana coaches. And in exchange, I want testimonials so then I can promote with those testimonials on the internet and then iterate on the design of the app and then finally launch it on the iOS and Android platforms and then expand to the Midwest with all the other coaches just through cold email and direct messages on social media. And then finally is farther in the future, but using a UGC strategy to expand to national coaches. So UGC means user generated content creators, and I would hire small creators to make viral content about my app. So this is the finances for the first year, and this is just revenue from the serviceable objective obtainable market, so just Indiana. These are some of my expenses, and this is the total. And then my ask is just, I'm asking for connections with anybody who has connections with lifestyle coaches or any type of coach, so I can do more customer discovery. And then finally, I need mentors or co-founders or employees that are experienced in marketing. So I have feedback on how I should market the app to more people. And that's it. Thank you.
We got you clocked in at 5:45. So still over the five, but right between the six. So good job with the timing. And now I open it up to the incubator team. What feedback do we have?
Thanks for the presentation, Simon. I didn't see the numbers from my phone. It was hard to see the slides on the number of coaches that you identified in your market slide.
Oh, let me share my screen and go back to that for you.
Could you pull that? Yeah, thank you.
So this slide right here.
Yes. Okay. So there's approximately, yeah. So, okay. Thank you. That's what I was trying to do the math in my head since I couldn't see the slide.
Bigger.
So, all right. That's what I was calculating as well. So this isn't a critique as much as it's really just a question. And I don't expect anybody at this stage and where you are to necessarily have an answer of what you want to be when you grow up or where you think this is going to go, right? But it is an exercise that this program kind of does help you think through. Where do you go from there? If $361,000 a year is the top out, like the maxed out market capability that you have, where do you go from there? How do you get bigger than $300,000 a year in revenue if you were to capture 100% of the market?
Yes, yeah. And this is just based off of the directory for the certified health and wellness coaches. That's why I wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Right. So that's why it stops right there. But if I were to expand, it would be for any online coaches that are on social media, like content creators, just like Carl Ram, who have these large audiences of people, and they also offer some sort of online coaching that's not fitness. That's not just, sets and reps.
Yeah.
It's based on style. So I would expand.
Yeah. That's what I was curious about, because the business coaches, executive coaches, even a lot of the content creator types of coaches and solopreneur coaches. There's a lot of varying coaches out there, and there's more than just that ICF entity that does coaching certifications, and hell, half of these coaches nowadays aren't going through any sort of official certification route, right? They're just going off of playing off their 20 years of experience in the industry, and then this is how they're teaching others, right? So it's definitely less formalized than the health and wellness space for sure. But yeah, definitely personal trainers and health and wellness coaches and nutritionists, all of those have to get degrees and certifications to legitimize what they do. So that to me smells like $1 million business potential and beyond. But again, you're talking about, the market slide is great because it just shows the possibilities of what could be. So that's 100% market share, and that's not reality, but that is at least good from an investor's perspective. And for me as a potential angel investor, like when I look at these things, that's kind of the lens I look at is how big does this get? And it doesn't have to be $1 billion unicorn business, right? Like it could morph into that. We've seen that trajectory change for companies that started out as one thing and then morphed and grew into something else, right? When you think about like Mindwell and some of these other groups that started as a simple platform and grew into something, you know, huge. Mastermind and some of these others that play in this field, like there's a lot of noise, but there's also a lot of signals too. So that's where I'm just curious as far as where do you think you want to take this or where you think this could go. So thanks for entertaining that question.
No, yeah, thank you, Doug. That's good insight.
Yeah, and I love similar to the previous presentation. One thing that I appreciate you highlighting is users, is people that actually want to use it or that are able to use it and are interested in paying for it. You know, those are all good signals that you want to definitely show that you've got traction in the market and that you're gaining awareness. Even if it's, you know, signups and waitlisting people, that's still a good move to keep pushing that. And as a solo founder, you've got capacity issues yourself that you can't do it all, but certainly continuing to get out there and continue to talk to people will help you continue to meet and network and potentially find a co-founder that's in that space that may be interested in doing that, but at the same point, like still doing a service for you, for your business to continue to grow that by connecting with those people in the market. So keep doing that.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm also on social media, like I'm trying to promote this app like on my personal account, like trying to post every day on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. It's not going well, but I'm still trying.
Yeah, overnight successes took 10 years to make. So don't be too discouraged. Yeah, the virality of things, the algorithms have a mind of their own sometimes. There's not a rhyme or reason, but consistency in posting is certainly something that I hear a lot in the social media world from the gurus, if you will, that state, like, if you want to get popular on TikTok, just post multiple times a day even.
Yeah,
nobody knows what the algorithm picks up. So but it is worth noting that it's worth observing, right? Like what content is working, what content isn't resonating. As you continue to do that, that should help you identify some of those areas too from a marketing perspective, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll go ahead and jump in, I suppose. Good talk. Two questions that come top of mind. So your key differentiator is the photo accountability or something like that?
Yeah, photo-based accountability, because they're lifestyle coaches, and so a lot of their habits are like, for example, one of their habits is like take a picture of all the food. Don't track your calories, don't track your macros, just take a picture and send it to us. And then they found out that more and more people were able to lose weight and build healthier habits because they have somebody like watching what they eat rather than them just tracking their calories. So that's one example. And yeah, also a lot of apps, they don't have like an iOS and Android app, and that's what I'm trying to build next. And a lot of them don't have like a dashboard for coaches, so they can see like insights based on the photos, and we can use AI to look at the photos for the coaches to make more insights.
So what are coaches using now to interact with their clients?
They're using, a lot of them are using WhatsApp, and they're using Excel spreadsheets. So they have a whole list of all 200 of their clients, and then they have to go through the WhatsApp group and manually like check off each one. And then if they're not following up their habits, they have to do check-ins with them and message them directly after that.
That's good. And then in terms of pricing, like it seems how did you come up with your pricing model?
Based my pricing model based on my competitor Heavy. So they're the personal fitness for coaches app, and they have tiered based pricing based on how many clients each coach has. So if you have like 0 to 10 clients, then you pay like $20 a month, and then it expands from there. Like if you have like Marlon is paying $250 a month because he has 200 clients, for example.
Right. Okay. And do you have a sense of what percent of this? So this is going to get sort of pushed onto the end user, the client. Do you know how much they're paying for the coaching in the first place?
They're paying, at least for Marlon, this is just based on one customer discovery, by the way. So
$100. Yeah.
$100 a month.
Okay. So this is a really minimal expense in that regard, right?
Yeah. Well,
I guess.
I guess I've just based it off what they're paying right now, because I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm kind of working off of Doug's questions, right? So how does this grow? Is this part of me feels like you're leaving money on the table potentially, right? And so what's the value? What's the problem you're trying to solve? What's the value that you're providing with this? I understand you benchmark against some competitors, but if you're going to help them grow their business, right,
Right.
or do things that they couldn't do, there's a bunch of different ways you can couch it, right? It pays for itself in a month, right? Like all this sort of stuff. And you could potentially just charge the coach and have it free for the end user, but it's such a marginal. It's not that much money, and it's like 2% of what they're paying per month anyway. But yeah, it feels like there's potential money on the table here.
True. Yeah, and that would make the market size bigger too.
Yeah, you're helping them grow their so you identified the pain point. Now you've solved it. Now what's the outcome now that you've solved that pain point, right? Can they better serve? Can they charge more? Can they're growing their clientele, right? That's there may be an opportunity there.
Yeah, so if I market it as hey, I'm gonna help you grow your business. This is gonna help you scale and grow your business. So I should charge more, right? So I should make more money. Yeah.
That's what I heard in your pain point, right? Is they've got too many people to manage, right? And so you're going to help them manage it and either give them time back or help them grow their business.
Mm-hmm.
So what is their time worth, right?
Yeah. And I was also trying to calculate that too, hourly. This would pay for 2 hours of their time if they're making this much a year, trying to calculate how much they spend every day.
And I'm not suggesting that you need to change it. It's just there may be an opportunity there.
Okay.
I also understand and acknowledge simplicity of pricing models, and if there's already a competitor out there, if you try to do something too different, it's going to confuse the marketplace. Mm-hmm. But if you feel like you're truly differentiated, then maybe there's an opportunity.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Matt, that was a good point. Thanks, Simeon, for the presentation. I like your charts. They're real compelling, thoughtful, laid out.
Thank you.
But if you save these trainers 1 hour a month, that's worth $100, right?
Yeah.
So why are you only asking for $3, or $2? Right. So unless you want to have an element like a flat fee 100 and then have a per user small amount, that you could have kind of a tiered pricing. But I think you have opportunities to play around with the pricing and think about how much time the trainers would save. Mm-hmm. So where it would still be simple and compelling for them. If they can save an hour a month, why wouldn't they do it? And also, the other thing that I like about it gets their clients to be more sticky.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They can see their data, they can see their progress, they're held accountable, and they're less likely to switch trainers. Mm-hmm. We just moved from Virginia to Indiana, and my wife still uses her personal trainer in Virginia.
Dang.
And and they do an online session in the basement once a week. Because she has a relationship with the trainer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what people want, that relationship with their trainer. And I think you should think about that on how you could monetize that relationship,
Dang.
make it stronger
Yeah.
with your software tool.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what Marlon was saying. Like he doesn't want to spend time doing this. He wants that. He's more important that he spends time building that relationship with his clients so they can stay longer.
Yeah.
That's more important for the business. Kind of like with your wife and the
Yeah.
personal trainer.
There's also I used an app called Hinge. You might want to take a look at that app. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
But I had a sports injury, and so I had a trainer to help me recover from the injury using Hinge, and it would push out the exercises, and then it tracked when I did my exercises on a calendar,
Mhm.
and I was able to video link with my trainer, and she could watch me do the exercises, and I was held accountable that way. You know, that type of a product is $15 to $35 a month
Mhm.
for the user. But for me, because my knee hurt, I was willing to shell out the bucks. You know what I mean? So I think you have opportunities to raise your price from the coach perspective of saving time, and from the client perspective of getting the performance that that they want to achieve.
Yeah, and they're already spending hundreds of dollars. So.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the trainers could absorb that cost really,
Mhm. Okay. Yeah.
and just make it part of part of their cost.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really interesting concept. So thanks for your pitch today.
Thank you, Richard.
Appreciate all the incubator team members sharing their feedback. Yeah, I had really similar feedback, and ironically, all three of them went over it. I was going to talk about the price structure, talk about a larger market size, talk about the revenue. So honestly, not going to be the dead horse on that side. Really great job with being just. Always like to say, good visuals, really smart idea for the traction. It was great showing there's like, hey, like people are interested in it. Like if you can go back to that, excellent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it shows that there's a need for it. And of course, once you start getting more users or once your MVP gets going, then you can get some of like the testimonials of it. But for the fact that you're showcasing like, hey, you're putting yourself out there, you're messaging, and also I've seen your social posts too because I've seen you post on LinkedIn. I've seen the 30-day challenge, so that is also good stuff to also talk about. It's like, hey, trying to get the word out there, trying to spread a message. So so a couple other things too. Similar thing as I said with the previous team. Make sure your last slide, you got your name, you got your contact information, and your logo. You always want to make sure that is ready to go at this point. And then the other thing too that obviously is your personality. And actually, hold on. One thing I wanted to point out, I do love the fact that you started with a story leading into your presentation. So you went with more of a narrative base. So you showed yourself like, hey, I'm an athlete. I have my coaches. This is the coaches. This is how much money they bring in. This is how much time they're losing. Because it really paints the picture of like, hey, there is a need for this. This is how much money they're making, but they could be making more, and I can make their process easier. So I think that was a really good way to tie up your solution, showing that there is a need, but also a realistic story to go behind this. Also, I know this is your personality, but have a little bit more excitement for your product. You know what I'm saying? Like this is your baby. This is something you've been working on, something you've been posting about. It's not necessarily a lecture. You're trying to make yourself. You're trying to showcase. So you're like, hey, this is a product that I really believe in. So make us believe it. You know what I'm saying? You have traction. You have a revenue model. You have something that you are getting people excited about. You want to be excited yourself. That doesn't mean change your whole personality, but get a little bit more reflection into there. Other than that, that's really some of the biggest things without like really repeating what other people have said. So any final questions about that?
Shoot. I guess not right now. You guys kind of answered some of my questions. I did talk about that social media stuff, and yeah, we already talked about that, to be honest. Not really, not right now. Maybe next week.
Okay, that's no problem. Appreciate you for going, sign me in, and let's go ahead and keep the ball rolling.